Good morning. Good morning. So I'm gonna show you guys my little project here that I got going on. First thing, you guys have to double back. So I'm raising the garage door, or I raised it. I raised it by paying someone to do it because I don't do stuff like this. But so anyways, so I got the garage so that I can get trucks in the heated side of my shop. So that's cool. It's got I got a garage door opener and everything for it. That's the other side, but it's a little bit of a working process, or I don't know, whatever, however it's said. Then on my cold storage side, what's going on, Cassius King? Good to see ya. Where are you at today? Trucking. So on my cold storage side, we're getting it insulated. So this is really cool. This is like kind of a surreal thing for me because, yeah, so we're doing that. It's kind of hard. I got a lot of junk in here. Like, I got to get rid of it because we moved in and I just kind of threw the crap in here, and just kind of frustrating because I have this really nice shop and it's just crap everywhere. So, but anyways, I got somebody had asked a couple questions. So before I get into the questions, I wrote a bunch of notes, which I'm not going to transition well into the notes because I can barely read and then I can barely write. So if you can see that, but just that kind of a cool deal. I still have some of these around. So when I did my lawn stuff, what's going on, Double J? Morning to you. Thanks for coming in. Where are you from? And are you in trucking? Okay, so anyways, this is how I got started. I mean, this isn't even how I got started. I mean, it just keeps on going back and back, but it just depends how far you want to go. But this is one of my first successful businesses that got me getting accustomed or used to making six figures. You know, to realize, you know, I feel like that's a lot of people's dreams, is if they just want to make $10,000 a month or whatever it is. So this was the first enterprise that I did that made that come true, and this was one of my little advertisements. So what I would do is, so my goal has always been to work myself out of a job. So basically, I don't want to be I don't want to have this mindset that I'm the best and I'm the only one that can do it. I actually have the opposite mindset that I really screw a lot of stuff up, so I'd rather just get out of the situation and let other people do it. So what I used to do when we did the lawn care was I didn't mow. I mean, at one time I did mow. Actually, my wife and me mowed together. How gangster is that of a wife? She just did all the mowing and I did all the non-fun work like trimming and crap. But we did that for the first year that we got started, actually. So, but anyways, this was once we had crews. These are fertilizer signs. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but you like put stakes in the ground and then you put them out in someone's yard. Well, there's a guy on YouTube that I learned it from, which was can't remember what his name is, but his channel is called Lawn Care Millionaire. I think Lawn Care, I don't know, something like that. But anyways, and he calls them 5 rounds. I don't think he came up with the term, but basically your best customers when you're in the lawn business, and how you really make money in the lawn business, is having very tight routes. Basically, in trucking terms, no deadhead miles. And so you just put these out, and we used to stake these in like the 20. I would just walk the neighborhoods while the guys would mow, and then we'd try to pick up more accounts right where we already were. So that's cool. Just kind of talking about this guy's question. He's 21, and his question is, I wrote the notes, so I'll just go through the notes. So basically he said, if you were starting from zero, how would you do it differently? And then it says, so what would I do differently is starting over again. He has a decent paying job. Let's see here. Would I buy a truck and pay it off before going independent? So that's one of his questions. Start with own trailer right off the bat, or pull somebody else's. I would assume that would be the only way you do it. Is it worth? He would be taking a pay cut from his job now to become an independent trucker, and the main reason for that is because he is 21. And then P.S. insurance for him to start his enterprise. He's getting quotes for $30,000 to $50,000. I'm assuming that's per year for insurance. And then he says, so then my question to him would be, okay, how much of that is up front? Like how much do you need to come up with up front just to get started? It's just a question. And then I did the math at 30,000, because if he's getting a quote for 30 to 50, you're gonna take the one at 30. So for 30,000, which sounds crazy, for anyone that's not in trucking, it even sounds crazy to me, but I get it because he's 21, so I do get it. When I started, it was 11,000, and I was probably 25. So, no, I must have been. I haven't been trucking for 10 years, so I don't know. Anyways, probably 27. Okay. P.S. What else? So that's at 3,000, 30,000 annually. That would be $2,500 a month, without putting a down payment down. So that's kind of what I'm going to go over, guys. If you would hit the thumbs up button. So anyways, starting from zero, what I do different. So I feel like as an entrepreneur, everybody says that they started from zero. I even got the Four Seasons hat on this morning. I didn't even think of that. But I feel like even if you're Donald Trump, there's a lot of people that came from money that don't have money now, and it might just not be a priority. They might just don't have it figured out. And I didn't come from money. As a matter of fact, when my dad died, my mom couldn't afford to live by herself without, she lives with us for free. So I basically support my mom. Which was very stressful when it first happened, because I was the sole provider for my 3 children, my wife, and then now my mom. And I'm like, wow, this is weighed on me, As a entrepreneur, as a business owner, as the sole provider, you just have to, I'm going to toot my own horn, you just have to do what you have to do, and that's one of the reasons I am where I am today, because I didn't want to live like I lived. So instead of, being a victim about it and whining about it, it's like, okay, well, let's figure this out, because I want the best for me and my family. And I mean, it's always a work in progress, but from where we came from to where we are, pretty much we can do whatever we want, whenever we want. And I think it's funny with all the stuff that you see online about internet businesses and passive income and stuff like that, because our trucking company would rival any small business that is sexy sounding and online and this and that, and I mean, I don't know if we're gonna quite make it to $3 million in sales this year, but just to understand what that is, it takes $80,000 a month to make $1 million a year in revenue, in gross revenue. So then 80 times 3, what is 8 times 3? Can someone tell me what 8 times 3 is? I think it's like 30, is it 32? 32? I'm gonna go with 32. So 300, okay, 24, okay. So I have to make, so my trucking business is making $240,000 a month. And the way that all businesses work, retail, service businesses like lawn service, snow plowing, heating and air, you don't make all your money. You don't make, and trucking's the same basically. So like, you don't make your money consistently. So like $240,000 a month. It's not how it comes in. Like some months I make 500,000, and I don't understand what people don't understand about this. But trucking companies have very good margins. The only reason they don't have good margins is because they might own a commercial property. So like they might own all this stuff that shows that they don't have good margins. So basically, let's just say that I have a 10% margin on $3 million. That's $300,000 worth of net profit. And then you still have all the expenses of doing all your other stuff. Now, this should make sense, and because like, I know people don't know where I live at and stuff, but it's like, I live in a very, very nice house. My kids now go to private school because we want our kids to have a good education through this pandemic. I'm not saying this to brag, but it's just, I guess, a word of encouragement and to really treat the trucking industry as a real thing and to be serious about it, because it is a serious thing. And the reason I bring that up is because he says, like, basically taking a pay cut. That was one of the things that he asked about. So because he's taking a pay cut, I feel like whenever you are doing something to fulfill your dreams and you have the vision in your mind of where you want to go, a lot of times you're going to take a pay cut to get where you want to go. Okay, so I look at this insurance situation, I look at this, I'm going to call him a kid, being 21 years old, and that's ridiculous that insurance is $30,000. That's $2,500 per month. And whatever this 21-year-old has figured out for how much he can make a month, Asian Mai, I think he just checked in on here, but pretty much anybody will. I think even Cash is King said this, but both these guys are on here, and whoever checks this video out, check these guys out because they're dead on. But you're not going to come into the trucking industry and kill it. And everybody thinks they're going to do amazing right out of the gate, and that's just not the way it works, because you need to be established. You need to understand the flow of business. If you already know the flow of business, then at least you've got that. But now you need to have the contacts. If you've got the contacts, you need to understand drivers. If you've got the drivers, you need to understand that there's so much to learn and know, and you can't snap your fingers and learn it and know it. You just have to have some experience. Now, like when I got into it, I thought, I was gonna do really well, make 6 figures, work 8 hours a day, and I was trying to figure out, okay, so if I work 8 hours a day, then I'll take my lunch break, and this and that, and I was figuring out, because I was gonna get paid hourly, because I was doing construction work, so it was like $80 an hour. I work 10 hours a day, so I'll do $800 a day. And then I'm trying to figure out, okay, so where's my brake gonna be at? And it's like, no, there's no freaking brakes in trucking. I mean, obviously there's some jobs that have that in trucking, but that's not the normal. You know, you just go with it and you take a break when you get a break, and you just do what you need to do to make it happen. So, but I would encourage that if that's what you need to do, is take a pay cut to do what you want to do, and you have a vision of much more, there's no reason to not. And what happens if you do it and you fail? And what does even failing even mean? Does that mean you did it and you lost your truck and now you're 22 and you have all this experience to do something else in life? Or maybe that helps you figure out what you really want to do, which isn't trucking. Maybe you want to own a construction company, or maybe you found out something else by doing the one thing. It opens up another door. Erica Williams, I actually am really getting into her videos lately. She's like a YouTuber. I've never talked to her, but she seems to really know what she's talking about. She's a little bit outspoken, but that's good. That's okay. But she what did she say? Yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, but check her out anyways. So, okay, so what I do different from when I started. I wouldn't do anything different. So basically, I really started when I was in high school. I was in a network marketing company, which is like a home-based business, they get a lot of grief. I mean, really, that's where I started. I really started from nothing, like just gaining knowledge and having no money. And then I moved out to California. I had the opportunity to mentor with like a coach, like a business coach, like that you would see on like late night TV, like hire me and you'll be a millionaire, like that type of a situation, but not quite that extreme. I met the guy at a seminar first, but I hired him with the hopes that me being under 20, that he would see something in me secretly. And this is like creating your own reality, really. And with the hopes that he would see something in me and give me an opportunity. And that's exactly what happened. So I felt like it was my way out. So what I ended up doing was I hired him for like 4 sessions. It was literally like $2,000, okay? And at this point, and kind of what I was talking about with Donald Trump, is he came from a mindset, more than the money, it was the mindset of his family. And that is what my parents gifted me, even though they weren't financially set, they were stable, and they gifted me the knowledge of their journey and what they learned. And like I've told you guys many times, my dad gave me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad as a high schooler, which was the best thing that ever happened to me. Well, obviously, one of the best things that ever happened to me. But so I kind of forgot where I was going with that, which is kind of a trend with me, so I apologize. But let's see if I can bring it back. What was I talking about, guys? Does anyone know what I was talking about? That'd be good if I could get back on my track here. I'll read my notes too. Anyways, I guess Donald Trump, I was talking about him and starting from. So basically, I got the support from my parents to not do things the traditional way, but I had no money. Yep, perfect. So I had no money, so I went and I got coach. Thanks, Cash. So then I went and hired this guy. I had a credit card because I wanted to at some point do real estate, which I still don't even do real estate, guys. I really want to do that, but it's so hard to do real estate when you can just buy another truck and make so much more money than you can with real estate. Short term. At some point, long term, it's the weird place to go. But I feel. But so anyways, I hired him. It was like $2,000. It was more than $2,000, but it was over $2,000. What ended up happening was my credit card didn't go through because I was 17. I was 18. I didn't have a limit. I had like only had like $1,000 limit on my credit card. So I maxed it out. He let me do payments. He respected that I was a kid and doing this, and then he ended up seeing something in the end, and he moved me out. And then from there, I did a video a long time ago where I was thanking one of my first mentors, which wasn't him. It was this other guy that flew in to meet. He was, I don't know, you just throw this term around so easily, but so my mentor was a millionaire, I mean, very successful guy. And then he would coach, he was like a coach. So he coached other millionaires in highly successful business people. And so anyways, he had this program where it was called the Protege program, where successful business owners would come to his house. So this guy named Mark Hoverson came to his house, and he was like this up and coming internet marketing guy. So then this internet marketing guy, I know this has nothing to do with trucking, but it really does, because everything, if you're in business and you choose the trucking business, then you better know about business. It has nothing to do with if you know about trucking. You can do whatever you want. Can you guys give me a thumbs up? I appreciate it. So you can do whatever you want once you've got the knowledge to do it. So anyways, I learned from this guy internet marketing. We had a lot in common. He was actually very young for as successful as he was. I think he was like 29 or 30, and he was like, it was crazy. So the reason that we really got hit it off was because of my ring. It had the crosses on it. So he was like, "Oh, does that actually have any meaning to you or whatever?" And then I just talked. I was sharing. I was just telling him about my faith and stuff like that. And then I think Callie was. Oh, obviously, if I had my ring on, we were married. So, anyways, what ended up happening was he bought us dinner. So we had this millionaire come over to our house. He was just had figured it out. Like it was just fresh, and he was just like real up and coming guy, and he was just doing really good and everything. And he was, like I said, he was a Christian, and we talked about that, and then he kind of showed us what he was doing and how to do it. So that knowledge, basically what ended up happening was we ended up starting this company here. Now this company was a company that we had started with Callie's dad, and Callie's dad had already been doing it and established as and nowadays the term would be, it was a side hustle, and it was like a legit side hustle, because he had, I mean, it was a lot that he had going on, but he had 2 skid steers, a crappy front end loader, and basically he plowed snow, and he figured out that he's in the game, that it was more than a side hustle, and then the fact that it was a tax play. So like I tell you guys, the most important thing that you guys need to know is taxes. And if you aspire to grow and have more in life and make more money, the ironic part about that is you really need to learn how to show legally that you don't make money, so that you can reinvest your money without the government taking money out before you do it. That's the biggest part of being an entrepreneur, is getting able to spend your money before the government takes your money out of your check. So that way you can invest and then therefore create jobs and pay more taxes on buying goods and services versus your actual income. So that's what he was doing with his side hustle. that was a legit side hustle, which was called this. So he did trees because he had a wood boiler. So he was a mechanic and is a mechanic by trade. And then he did side hustled trees, and then his goal was at one point that he wanted to do it full time. But I really feel like he really didn't have the courage to lose the benefits and all that stuff, because his wife was at the time a successful real estate agent till what happened with the mortgage and the crisis of 07 or 08. So that really, they came into hard times at that time in their life, because she was a 6-figure realtor. And this is like the history, man. This is like starting from zero, I guess. So this is something my kids can watch, hopefully. So anyways, they were really successful, had rental properties, blah, blah, blah. But then they had this company. Well, then Callie and me were doing really well in California. And then what ended up happening was we got laid off at the same time because we worked for the same place. Which is crazy. Another crazy thing is that my boss, and I've told you that you want to take other people's experiences and then run with them for yourself to give you like the power of belief for yourself. So what ended up happening was, with the power of belief, was at the time, I mean, it still is, but to tell you that there's a chance that I'm gonna do $3 million in revenue this year in my I would like to say our trucking company, my wife and I's trucking company, is crazy. But at the time, I took his belief because he had like 4 or 5 employees, and Callie and me were 2 of them, and I really felt good that he was doing $3 million a year, which was like we had talked about. I have witnessed him do a seminar where he does sales, and basically he does sales, and he'll generate over $100,000 in like an hour talk. So he basically goes up, says some stuff, and at the end of it he says, hey, buy my coaching, buy my courses, buy whatever. So then that also instilled in me like money can be easy to make, and it's all around us, and blah blah blah. So but I went about it in a way of more of like a blue collar way of doing it, because I just like doing things with my hands and whatever else. But the main thing is that starting from zero it's like an overnight success that they say, like in the music business. It really doesn't start with you just wake up and, oh wow, look, I'm right there. So it's, I guess, a long history to say that. So by that time, when we got laid off because of of what had happened, and we wanted to get out of there anyways. I mean, we really wanted to be our own boss. It was like you worked at an entrepreneurial business, and the whole idea is you don't want to be an employee, and we were employees. So it was kind of like a contradictory thing, but we learned a lot there, and it was from being there, from just learning what it really takes, like without looking at all the BS and the online marketing like gurus, and like how it's so easy and it's like 2 hours of work. We learned that if you want to get somewhere, and you got to do it, and you got to do it all the time. My boss's term was ATT, which is all the time, which sounds really sucky and exhausting. But it really, if you like what you do and you love what you do, then it's fine. And it doesn't have to be ATT. I disagree with that, but at the beginning, it probably does. If you really want to take it to a big level, which I'm not even saying I'm at a big level, but you get what I'm saying. So zero. So then what ended up happening was when we ended up moving back to Minnesota. And when we moved back, we were like, man, I told Callie, I was like, man, your dad has like this business that's like not successful, but it really could be something great. I mean, why don't we take our skills that we learned in California, our business skills and our marketing, and let's like build this business. So thanks guys for all the comments and stuff. I'm just trying to stay on topic. If you would just give me a thumbs up, and I'll go through and read the comments at the end here, and then we can talk about it if you guys have any questions or whatever. But really appreciate everyone stopping in. So anyways, that's what we did. Man, this is like just going crazy with where I'm going. I apologize if you guys are, this is just like, this is what starting from zero is for me. So anyways, now we had zero money to work with when we started the business, but we did have some equipment. So it wasn't zero, but so we did have some equipment, and then we had to figure out, we did the marketing all for free, and then we paid for it and blah, blah, blah. And whatever. Fast forward, we were able to, Wayne was working at his job full-time as a mechanic, and then he actually came up with the idea of, why don't we buy a truck? So then we ended up starting a trucking company, which is called Twin City Hauling. We started it together, and then we owned the trucking company and the lawn business together. And then we decided that the lawn business or the trucking business was much more aligned in what we were, our own mind. Like, I guess for us it was easier to make more money trucking than it was in the lawn business because of our personalities and because of us. Not like somebody else would hate to run a trucking business. They much rather do the lawn business. It's just it's not a better type of situation. It's just the personality of the person running it. So then we ended up basically getting out of the lawn business. There's also some family business drama in there as well. So then what we ended up doing is selling the lawn business, and then Wayne bought his own truck and started his own trucking company, and then I just kept on doing Twin City Hauling, and then like as you've seen in the videos, we still work together every day. So he just works underneath me because I get the work. So so when we started the trucking business, we owned our truck outright, and it was so hard with 3 kids, and I guess I didn't even have 3 kids at the time, but it was so hard. I can't express how hard it was to have a wife that does not generate income for the family because of choice. Obviously, she's very talented, like extreme. Like when we got married, she had already had her 4-year degree, and she was 20. She couldn't even drink at our wedding. So it was just a choice that we made that, you know, when we had kids, that she was going to stay home, and she's not like, she doesn't have the patience for kids. We ended up finding that out too, but it's like, it's tough, but still, she, you know, it was better than whatever. It's the way that we went. So it was a sacrifice for her to stay home. She would rather have put the kids in daycare and done her own thing, you know, put it that way. So what ended up happening was we bought the truck outright with the first truck outright with our lawn care company, and we wanted to buy a dump truck, which was, all these things were like super, like every time that something didn't happen the way that we wanted it to, you know, it was like they say, a blessing in disguise. It was awesome. It worked out so much better, and that's how I look at the video that I did called blah 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 bad hair #BadHairDay is exactly that. And that's why it's so weird, but I get excited, and not in a corny way because I get down about it, but I get excited when really crappy things happen, because I know that means really good things are coming. As crazy as that sounds, it almost sounds like total bullshit, but I promise you guys it's not. I mean, I dread bad news, but I'm blessed to have some really good entrepreneurial friends, and we get it, and we talk, and we tell each other our problems, and that really helps. So we wanted to buy a dump truck, but a dump truck to get something that we thought wasn't junk was like $85,000. So then when I was mowing lawns, there's a company, a big brokerage in my area called Shaw Trucking, and I saw these really junky, I mean, they were junky. They were like hood trucks, man. They were bad, but they were like old, like just studio sleeper trucks pulling belly dumps around, and it said Shaw on the side, and I was like, oh, I don't know much about this industry, but something's weird here. So I called Shaw, and I said, hey, do you guys? I said, hey, do you guys? What do you say? What do you guys hire owner operators to pull your trucks or your trailers? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, okay, cool. So then, because what had happened was Wankster was like, well, I really want to do dump trucking, but I don't think it's gonna happen. And that was like, he doesn't have the same mindset as me, because I've had lots of mentoring and I listen to motivational stuff and how-tos and just business stuff, and he doesn't. So he doesn't have that. But anyways, but I did. So I was like, well, we talked about this. We're gonna start trucking. Let's do it. So then we figured out, well, shoot, we can buy a tractor for 20,000. That's actually pretty good, and then just pull their trailer. So one of the questions on here was basically just like starting out. Should I buy and pay off my tractor before? Let me read what it says specifically. So I have a decent paying job. Would I buy a truck, or should I buy, I don't know, whatever. Should I buy a truck and pay it off before going independent? So I don't understand how you would buy, and this, it's not like, I'm just saying, I really honestly don't understand how you would buy a truck and then pay it off before going independent, unless you're saying you're gonna, I don't think at the age of 21, anyone's gonna let you lease on with them, because it would make their insurance skyrocket. But that is a general statement. I know for fact that somebody would, but it's just gonna take, you're gonna have to really, it's gonna be harder to find, but you'll find it. You could find that. But I'm just gonna go with what I feel like he's asking is, because I don't know what that means if I buy a truck before I go independent. Because if you're buying your truck, I would assume you're going independent, unless he's just gonna pay his truck off before he even gets started, like just with his job income. But I'll just basically say, if I was doing it over again, how I would do it. And I wanted to express, okay, so one thing that I want to say is, and I kind of got into this and then I got off of it, was we had owned our truck outright from day one, and it was really hard, like excruciatingly painful to get it really took a long time to feel like I was getting ahead. And some of that was by design, because I never raised my my standard of living, which is, I think it's a very common thing for kind of like blue collar successful people, but I never raised it. So my business would make more money, but I never raised my income to show that I made more money. And even to this day, I have a nice home. My kids are in private school. The only reason they're in private school is because of what's going on with COVID. But I spend more money on my kids than I do. My wife and me spend more money on our kids than we do. If you guys are just coming in, if you'd hit the like button, that'd be great. But we spend more money on our children and their education and stuff than we've ever spent on ourselves. And nobody really knows that I even make money unless they know where I live, which why would I tell someone where I live unless they just know where I live or whatever, you know? And like on my personal Facebook, I don't go on there and like show, hey, we're on a RV. Oh, Callie probably does that. But anyways, I drive the van that my dad bought brand new, for like that's what I drive. I bought it from my parents when my dad died because my mom couldn't afford it. I gave her a car. I bought it for $3,000, my G van, and I'm just happy as could be with that thing. It's 20 years old. I don't want to go out and buy something else. I actually really would like to buy an $80,000 pickup truck, but it's just I don't know. It's gonna take a lot for me to do that. So what I would do when I don't know, what I guess what I'm basically saying is I wouldn't do anything different, but it's hard, even if you own your truck outright, it's freaking hard to get ahead in trucking without, you're gonna experience some, what the hell am I even doing here moments. Like, I feel like I could do something better or different. You just have to be established. You just have to, you know, your truck's gonna break, you're gonna have to decide that you're gonna fix it, and your truck's gonna break, and you're gonna have to decide that you're gonna fix it. And if you're not established, you're gonna wonder, like, am I just throwing money into a pit? You know, and like, why am I doing this? So, my wife is honking at me, so she must be ready to go. She must have not got the email that I am live right now. Start with, okay. So, but I guess his question is, you had to watch this video for 40 minutes to get the question answered. If this is what you want to do and you have a vision of doing great things, then why not? You're freaking 21 years old. Who freaking cares? Like, anything short of death, you're gonna be able to do a video like this and talk about it and tell your experiences, and that's kind of what it's all about. You're gonna, it doesn't matter what you do, you can learn from it, and as long as you view it as it was your fault, my bad, and then move on and then learn from it. You can do whatever you want to do, and it's not gonna wreck your future. It's only gonna, the potential is all upside, in my opinion. If you can afford to buy a trailer, yes, you want to buy a trailer. That was one of the questions. Should I start with my own trailer? Yes, but don't let starting with your own trailer stop you from starting. So if you know, urgency is the main thing. If you have enough credit, income, something to get the truck, and then get the trailer. If you can pull somebody else's trailer, do it. Don't say, well, I'm not gonna do it because I don't want them to make money off of my trailer. No, just do it. And just know that the vision is not balling out of control once you get the truck and then never being able to afford the trailer. Then the next step is, we're gonna buy the trailer and we're gonna put the balling on hold till we get the truck and the trailer, and then you go from there, you know. Then you buy the G-Wagon. So anyways, pay cut. So I'm taking a pay cut. So like I said, most people take a pay cut to follow not exactly their dreams, but there's an opportunity. There's a price of opportunity. So, you know, you do you're 21, you can afford to take a paycheck to do what you want to do, to make more money and leave a legacy for your life and your family that you don't even know you have yet. So that's all. I gotta go, guys. I better just run through these comments quick. My wife's gonna be put on blast when she comes in here. You were talking about, okay, thanks, Cash. What's happening? Big Rig Rex. Hey guys, if you would hit the like button for me. Greg's up in here. He's been following me for a while. Thank you. Hicks Customs, I think that's who I'm doing the video for. Slim margins, Miat Mowing, yep. It's okay though, Mick. That's Mark is up in the building. Nick, thank you for asking the question. I think that was you that asked, because that's helps me. I was in a slump with the videos. But anyways, all right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me for 45 minutes. I really appreciate it. Take care, everybody, and you better go, or the boss is going to get you, and we'll be in trouble. Yes, you are right, Cash. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.